If you have decided to start working on your nutrition habits, either because you have some body composition goals or performance goals, or because you want to work on your health and you actually want to do something that doesn't drive you into all or nothing mode, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Jimena Ramirez. I'm a behavior change coach and I'm the director of coaching and program strategy at Body Brain Alliance. I want to start with explaining why being committed to your nutrition goals doesn't need to mean going into all or nothing mode. It doesn't need to require cutting things from your diet. It doesn't require starting with tracking macros or taking any type of extreme behaviors to actually guarantee adherence. It doesn't even need to require 100% adherence to your planning. Your plan for whatever goal that is doesn't need to go from 0 to 100. Your plan needs to contemplate where you're at and start from that point. That is the way in which we start with making that realistic and lasting. Going all in is not only going to be much harder to sustain in the process than if you were to take a gradual approach, but it's also going to leave you with very little room to make any tweaks that we actually need to make in the process as we go. Think about that. If you start from a place where you're adjusting everything from the first moment, that is not really necessary to create change. And again, whenever you need to make any type of tweak or adjustment as you progress, this is going to be so much harder. If you are telling yourself that you actually need to be that strict because nothing of what you do ever sticks, ask yourself if maybe that is exactly the mindset that is leading to things not sticking in the first place. So these are the areas that we want to start focusing on before even thinking about going into those extremes. And this is a fantastic place to start and create a foundation with your nutrition habits. Even if you think you have so much to change, this is actually going to be the perfect place for you to start to set a foundation towards your nutrition habits changing. Number one, we want to assess the current structure of your meals and how they are actually helping you in this process. Now, having a meal structure that actually makes sense for your schedule, for your preferences, and for your activity levels is one of the things that is going to help you stick to your planning the most. This is also going to help you make better decisions. And for some people, this might look like actually having a full meal schedule. Some people might benefit from actually knowing that at a certain time they have this meal or they have this many meals a day. For others who are following more of an intuitive eating structure, that might mean actually being proactive about having some of the things that they enjoy, that they like, that are friendly to their nutrition in their environment, in their closest places, like in their office or at home. So in this way, you're actually having things in hand that are going to be helpful for your nutrition planning and journey and not depend on wishful thinking. The second thing is we want to think about adding instead of removing. Our brain usually goes into all the things that we're supposed to cut back on or leave aside if we want to thrive in our nutrition journey. However, we know from a behavior change perspective that approach goals work a lot better than avoidance goals. What research tells us is that when we are focused on things that we want to move towards, this is actually more helpful for adherence to our planning than thinking about things that we need to stop doing. So try to reframe that. If you're thinking, I need to ditch sugar, what could you have more of? What could you have more of instead of some of those sugary snacks? Could you maybe add a little more fruit there, add a little more fiber? If you're thinking, I should probably stop doing this, what can you do more of instead of that? Maybe you're thinking, I should stop sitting on the couch every single day when I get back from work. What could you actually do more of? Can we focus on that? Could you go for a walk when you're back from work? Could that be something that you add? If you're thinking about having fewer sweets at night, what could be an option that you actually add to your dessert? So instead of thinking about removing something, try to think about how you can add something that is truly in alignment with those goals that you have. The other area is look into your produce intake. Does your produce intake actually need some TLC? Do you think that you can find some opportunities where you could use adding some more fruits or veggies? What are some windows of opportunity that we could use there? Can you also identify any barriers here where you can be a little more proactive about having fruit at home that you actually enjoy, or chopping things over the weekend so you can make more salads or other type of veggies more easily available? Try to think about that and how you can continue adding those nourishing type of options into your diet. The fourth area to assess, water intake. How is your hydration right now? Do you feel that you have a good sense of your thirst cues? Do you have an idea of how water and being properly hydrated or being dehydrated impacts your nutrition choices, your energy levels, and other things. Can we actually spend some time getting more familiar with that? Do you see any opportunities where you could be including a little more water into your day? Maybe having some water before your coffee or having a glass of water after meals will be an easy way to optimize your hydration. Number 5 is eat more mindfully. Actually spend some time enjoying your food. Do you feel that you are familiar with your hunger cues, with your fullness cues? Do you know when you've had enough? Do you know when you are actually satisfied versus when you're full? Can you tell how it feels in your body to know that difference? Are you actually tasting your food? Can you describe the texture of your food? Are you spending time eating your food sitting down in a quiet environment? Thinking about making those slight changes can actually change how we are tasting food, enjoying food, and the choices that we make from that. Number 6 is, are you getting enough sleep? You can't beat physiology. Not getting enough sleep means that we're actually more prone to be sensitive to stress, which can lead to more emotional eating. It also means that we are going to feel more tired and our body is going to need more food that we feel is going to give us more energy, that is actually denser in calories. We're going to be more attracted to highly palatable foods, and we're going to have trouble digesting foods that are higher in fiber and protein. So making sure you're getting enough sleep is actually helping you make better decisions related to your nutrition. And last but not least, we want to make sure that you're willing to change. Maybe you're thinking, I don't like veggies. I don't want to try veggies. But you know what? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Are you operating and making decisions and choices as your 1.0? Can we start making some decisions and some of those choices as your 2.0, as your future self that has already conquered those nutrition habits that you're working on? Can we take that gradual approach in taking one step at a time to becoming that future self? Maybe if you don't enjoy drinking water, you can start thinking about moving from drinking soda for your hydration 100% to moving to having a bit of water, maybe half and half. Or maybe you can look into some flavor water or some other options that you enjoy. If you don't like eating fruits and veggies, but this is the part of actually creating more health in your life, can we think about experimenting with different veggies? Can we think about starting to work on our mindset to actually be willing to try some things and find some things that we enjoy? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So we need to be mainly willing to do things differently if we want different results. This is your chance to start rewriting those narratives as your best self as you are creating meaningful change in your life. So take every one of those opportunities and start creating that evidence of how you are indeed becoming that person that is making healthier choices. Working on all these pieces is actually going to help you set a solid foundation when it comes to your nutrition habits and to your relationship with food. You can even think about this as the beginner stage where you're creating that solid foundation, and then you can turn to more advanced techniques if and when needed. If you have any thoughts or comments about your own experience as you started working on your own journey in your nutrition habits, we would love to hear about that. And if you enjoy this video, please hit like or subscribe so that we can continue putting out this type of content, and let us know what other content you'd like to see. I will see you in our next video.